Hello everyone, I'm the Antivist, and welcome to my channel. I'm launching a little bit earlier than expected because this story came up and I just had to comment on it right away. I don't have all of my effects, graphics, and music in order yet. That's currently a work in progress. You likely weren't interested in fancy effects when you clicked on this video anyway, so let's get right to the good shit. Butler University recently added a new course in its communications department. It's a class for 17 students coming up in the fall called Trumpism and U.S. Democracy. The description reads, Donald J. Trump won the U.S. presidency despite perpetuating sexism, white supremacy, xenophobia, nationalism, nativism, and imperialism. Holy fuck, that's a mouthful. This course explores why and how this happened, how Trump's rhetoric is contrary to the foundation of the U.S. democracy, and what his win means for the future. The course will also discuss and potentially engage in strategies for resistance. This quickly got into the news, prompting a lot of both backlash and support from students and alumni. Kind of figures given how divided the country is. Personally, as someone who has friends and family at the university, I saw a lot more love for the course than I did hate, at least on my own social media. Butler responded by posting this statement, which denied students would be forced to participate in activism, thank goodness. It is an elective class, but that would still be pretty fucked up if you ask me. The Indianapolis Star reported that they supposedly also changed the course description to sound less negative, but the link did not lead to the description. I couldn't find the class either. I did find, however, that the professor Ann Savage also teaches media criticism, which doesn't surprise me in the slightest. I happen to have also been in a biased classroom that supposedly taught how to critically evaluate the media. Not at Butler, but at another Indiana school with a communications department. My political science professor was more objective than the communications department by a long shot. That's a big part of what got me interested in the story in the first place. Anyway, moving on, there are two huge problems I have with this. I'm not just some whiny Trump supporter upset over liberals getting together and having a circle jerk in a classroom. I just think, one, it's bad for the education system to promote such a strong bias, and two, the course will accomplish the exact opposite of what it intends to, or at least I think it will. Let's tackle the earlier first. Though it should be noted, Butler is a private school and there are private schools that lean conservative as well. I don't think that's a good excuse. Education should be as objective as possible. It should be about how to think and not what to think. Clearly, this class was not intended to simply provide historical context. That becomes evident when you see that the professor wanted to engage in anti-Trump activism. That requires everyone in the classroom to operate under the assumption that Trump is horrible or at least worse than his alternatives. Rather than debating how bad he is, they just assume he's bad. That's the problem. A political ideology is being asserted as fact. I don't give a shit if it's a private school, a public school, left wing, right wing. This is indoctrination, not education. It's a waste of time anyway, really, because it's not like Republicans are going to be in the class. It's going to be a circle jerk of 17 kids who are being fucked in the wallet to the tune of about 40 or 50 grand per year. My other problem is that this kind of shit is counterproductive. You aren't going to convince any left-wing students to not vote for Trump. They already don't do that. Instead, the outrage over all the buzzwords in the class description is going to unite his voters. Smug bullshit like this is part of what brought them together in the first place to overcome, mind you, what looks like a nearly impossible poll deficit. People are so sick of all these sweeping accusations of sexism, racism, xenophobia. I'm forgetting a few of them, but just go back and read the course description for fuck's sake. They've heard that garbage so much that all it does is piss them off and motivate them. And now Butler has a class that has PC outrage written all over it. The school is going to be fine. That won't affect them at all. Political correctness is standard procedure for colleges anymore. It really sucks for the students who are literally paying tens of thousands of dollars to be indoctrinated. But, well, that's partially their fault, maybe their parents as well. To be clear, teaching opinions is fine so long as everyone knows that the opinions are opinions and not facts. When the opinions are presented as facts, objectivity is lost. Even though the schools are free to do it, I just find it unacceptable for an educational establishment to engage in indoctrination. It's not about whether or not they can do it. They certainly can and do. I just don't believe that they should. Thank you for watching. Your comments are welcome. I'll be back again soon.